So if you ever paid attention at the end of an episode of Two and a Half Men, and I think Mom's Bang Theory, so some of those other Chuck Lorre productions, you would notice that he puts these vanity cards up where he just kind of types up something that's on his mind and he tags it to the end of his show. And I'm actually going to do that in a video format at the end of every episode this week, starting with why I'm doing it. And that's going to be the first one at the end of this video. So stay tuned to the end. And of course, tune in for every other video and check out the end of those. And I'm going to pre-record all these and just tag them to the end. It'll be a lot of fun. And I'll see you at the end of this video with more on this. It's kind of light on the news, but I found some really interesting stuff that I wanted to talk about and discuss in addition to that. So we're going to get right into the news, and welcome to the Tidarium Hangar, where we talk about vintage to modern, Star Wars, Transformers, video games, and anything else that's really cool and fun to talk about. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to get into the news as soon as you press that like button. So moving on into this, the first bit of news we have is the Hasbro Siege line Omega Supreme pictures. And it's interesting with some of the pictures that they put out. These are some official shots, and they really throw some nice backgrounds. They show you what this thing looks like, and I think it looks good. It's got this blast attachment, which is something that they've been doing for a while now, and I think that kind of adds to the display element of this. And then looking at Omega Supreme. Now, Omega Supreme's head, his face, it looks like the eyes light up, but I don't know. That could just be paint. I really want electronics in this thing very, very badly. I think that's what, Wei Zhang has over the competition, really, is the electronics. Now here he is standing straight up. Now I think the waist section looks a little weird like this. Of course, once you get it in a dynamic pose, that doesn't really show so well. Here is a little bit of stuff that you could do in the alt mode. And yeah, there's the bottom of the foot. I think it's going to be a really easy transformation. And it does show you that it is 24 inches to the top of the wings. So if you really want to get an idea of scale and how it scales, I think it would scale in an MP collection just fine. And there is another cleaner shot of the alt mode. Now it doesn't have, I don't think it's going to have electronics and go around like the vintage G1 did. And the track looks kind of small. I think there'll be an upgrade kit, and I hate to even talk about upgrade kits already, but I think there'll be an upgrade kit for this thing to make the track look regular size. And in fact, it needs to be like twice the length because of that really long rocket. But I do kind of like how the rocket's so long, just the track's so short, it just feels kind of weird and out of place. But the good point is you could set this up in a smaller area. So next I want to talk about, we had these Beast Wars prototypes that were shown at RoboCon, and I think it's really cool. I like seeing prototypes like this. I like seeing vintage or retro type toy lines and stuff that could have been made for it. So that kind of stuff's really cool to me. I like seeing like Star Wars, what they had planned that didn't get made. I like seeing, right now I'm researching Centurions. I also did a video on like a kind of a knockoff of Mask, but this kind of falls in that line. And I think it's interesting. Well, of course we don't have it painted up in mock-ups, and we don't know exactly what all it's supposed to be, but it's still, to me, it's fun. I don't know if you guys get a kick out of that kind of stuff. Then here it kind of shows you prototypes versus what really came out, and some other ideas that they had. I think that's interesting. I mean, even though I'm not really so into collecting a whole lot of Beast Wars stuff, I still think it's pretty cool. And I look at these pictures and I kind of wonder like what all they had going on with them, what else could have been made. So they have this video of Hound getting transformed, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know if there's a way to translate it or not, but it does show some stuff with like maybe Optimus Prime in the background, some more MP10 or 44, sorry, stuff going on there. And then it shows you pretty much how you hide the wheels. And there was some speculation in this that the wheels fold in half, and then I guess they kind of show you that the wheels do indeed fold in half. That was kind of interesting. and that's how it tucks away and gets you that really clean look. So I think that the engineering on this is going to be interesting, to say the least. But that's going to give you that nice clean look, and that's going to... I think that this kind of stuff they could do if they did a huffer, which I don't really think we need a huffer. But I'm saying if they did a huffer or something, this kind of engineering they could do here. Because I know, like, with the Bad Cube, you still see the tire in the back. But I thought it was pretty interesting on that. Next point with the Hound, Hasbro Pulse has... There's two interesting things. They're selling the Masterpiece Hound, the MP47, for $169.99, so $10 more than everywhere else. Like, we're already not happy with $160, and then Hasbro Pulse is like, yeah, let's just charge you $10 more. But in addition, you get the extra sleeve. Now, we saw that in this video I had with the MP17 Plus Prowl, had an extra sleeve box on it, and that's where, I guess that's where this came from. It's the US release, and it's $10 more. And on top of it, it's sold out. I can't believe it. That's insane. So this Action Toys Steam Robo is the continuation of the Action Toys GoBots line. And first I want to say that I really wish they would just pick up where they left off with the Psykill and the DX and go forward with that, because I'm really not into the smaller. I really like the bigger ones and to that level of quality. But this is still a cool looking figure, and it's a cool looking representation of GoBots. If anyone cares about GoBots, I think they're cool. There's the alt mode, and it's an interesting transformation. And I think this figure back in the day literally just folded in half, and then the arm slid in a bit. And there's a lot more to this one. But yeah, if you haven't had a pre-order for this, it's shipping now. Or if you like that line, pick it up. So this is going to be living proof that anything Optimus Prime will sell. And I think last year they came out with this G-Shock Optimus Prime. And I really don't understand it or where it comes from, where you even buy it. But they're going to come out with the Nemesis black repaint of this. And I'm sure it's going to sell. It's interesting. It's like a watch that's an Optimus Prime, which is kind of interesting. And now you can get a black one that would be more, you know, if it really transforms into a watch, I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Next wave of Siege is showing up, and I gotta say, I've had my negative opinion of Siege. I've had a rant video and talked about it, but I have to say Siege is not bad. It's actually good. In fact, I'm actually considering talking about what's going to happen after Siege pretty soon. But Springer's the figure that I think I'm looking forward to the most. I think Jetfire's Skyfire is going to be good. I think Omega Supreme, we talked about that, that's going to be good. And I have a handful of these that I've already looked at and reviewed. But I think Springer, to me, is going to be the best one. I just can't wait to get my hands on it, have a look at it, and compare it to all the other Springers that we have. So, Takara Tomy and a Japanese magazine, TVKUN, is pairing up for a crowdfunding of a gold Optimus Prime. And there's not a whole lot of details on it, but it's going to be called the 30th Anniversary Commander Convoy Box. And there's pluses and minuses to this, because there was a gold Prime that they made. It was like a lucky draw Prime. So I don't think this is going to get the same level of chrome on it. I think this is going to have some of those parts that are plastic that just are kind of like the gold color. But who knows? The gold plating on this would make it look cool, but I think it'd be out of reach for most of us. So there's this thing called the Fans Hobby Thunder Clash, and there's prototype images of this, and I think they've been showing images of this for a while now. But this thing is kind of a remold of their Power Baser, and I'm guessing this thing's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big, and it's interesting. They've got a little bit of, I don't know why they got the yellow paint on it. I don't know if that's gonna be yellow in the end, but I think it's gonna be big. And of course, you know, anything that's big like that, it's gonna cost some money. So Transform Elements making this movie Bumblebee, and I know that a lot of people are excited about the movie stuff with the Transform Element. I'm kind of interested in what they would put out in addition to their Prime. I think that they could do a few other things, but this seems cool. but I'd like to see them do something like maybe an Ultra Magnus that is a white repaint of their Prime and then has the armor. Those kinds of things, I think that they would sell a lot better than this. I don't think that the movie Bumblebee is a huge seller, but I do think in the movie line it is, you know, the top two. And I'm sure people will display it in alt mode more than robot mode. Okay, so I'm going to talk real quick about some sale items at TF Direct Show Z. I would go to all these other places everywhere and tell you the sale items I thought were cool, but the prices even on those sale items just aren't as low as these. So for $49.99, you're getting the DX9 War and Pocket Conehead set of 3 for the Legends. And since it's been open, my mind's been open to how much some of these Legends figures that are no longer available are costing. How much are these going to be going for when they're no longer available? But for $50 to get 3 figures, I think it's a really good deal for these Legends when they usually sell for $30 a piece. So I think I might even get these. And I'm not a Legends guy. So next, the standard 1-to-1 Dinobot KO is selling for $69.99 if you're into that kind of thing. I paid $77 or something for mine, so it's even cheaper than I paid. So it's on sale, and I think a lot of this, they're trying to get the stock down on this before Transform Element hits. I think Transform Element will be a superior figure, and if you just pay the extra, like, you know, 10, 12, 20 bucks or whatever to get the Transform Element, you might be happier in the end. But I figured I'd let you know. On sale now at Show Z is Bad Cube Steamroll. And as Bad Cube stuff is actually goes out of stock really fast, this is actually a harder one to get. And it's on sale for $70.19. The thing is with this one, when it does sell out, you decide, hey, maybe I do want a different side swipe, it's going to be hard to find. Next sale item I want to talk about is the MMC's Artifacts Hoist. And the thing is, he's $52, and that's not bad considering the fact that he looks good. But he's really lightweight. There's negatives to him. But if you don't have a hoist option, you don't want to try to track down a PN for like 130 or 140, and you want something on your shelf, this guy will work until a Peon or eventually a remold of Fansoys. If Fansoys puts one out, I really would like to see a Fansoys version of it. Lastly, we have the Wei Zhang Ultima Guard Omega Drone 01 Supreme Blue Limited Version. So, here's the way I kind of look at these blue repaints. If you, let's say you went with Fantoys or DX9 for your Omega Supreme, pick up a blue version of the Wei Zhang to get all the electronics and the different aesthetic, and it looks different enough. It's not just the same thing painted blue. And it's $171 right now, which I think is not a bad deal, and I'm really kind of, I want to mess with the Wei Zhang one, because it just looks interesting and looks like it'd be kind of fun to mess around with. So for those of you who haven't heard, Toys R Us has been allegedly making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback, because they haven't been here for years. They are supposed to open 6 stores, have an online presence, and I think the problem with that is their model is going to be more helpful than their old model, but I don't know if they're not going to have a rapid growth. It's just going to be 6 stores, and they have the model saying that they can return unsold product to the manufacturer, and some of this stuff seems like it's a good idea, but I don't know. I don't know how quickly they'll get new products, but then again, maybe they'll get new product faster than everyone with their new model. But with 6 stores, it'll be a long time until I get to visit one. So we have a Target exclusive debacle? Yeah, debacle. Where the sought after stuff that everyone's looking for in Star Wars land is on the Father's Day display. Okay, that makes sense. Now it's been a week since Father's Day, and they marked them down half price and then half of half. So around 70% off of figures that have only been out a few weeks, including the Retro Collection. Now, no Targets around in my area have one Retro Collection figure. I got 1 or 2 of these Luke Stormtroopers because you can always use a Stormtrooper for $6 each. And then I got 1 Han with the Stormtrooper for the vintage collection. And that one was like $4. So I would have had a few because for $4, these figures would have doubled as Stormtroopers. You could have made your little scenes with them and all that great stuff. Would have been nice if they had more in stock. I only have 1 in stock hanging on my peg. And since there's kind of a light Star Wars news week, I do want to talk about Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, which is in California. And I really was excited about this because, well, when I first heard about it, I was thinking Disney World in Orlando, and I have family and friends there. It would have been a better trip for me. I just decided not to make that trip just yet. And of course, I want to let the frenzy of the new die down. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool. I've heard a few things about it, though. I have heard how it looks textured like real world, and still real world in Star Wars looks kind of like a little dirt and grime to it. But when you go to touch it, of course, it's all smooth. It's just paint to make it look dirt and grimy. And it's kind of an interesting feel to it, look to it. In a way, it kind of feels fake, in a way. But to just be immersed in that, it would be awesome. I don't really care. I mean, you got to be able to clean this stuff, too. But there's a build your lightsaber thing where you can build an FX lightsaber however you want it. I'm wondering if I could put a combination together to build me what I'm missing, a Count Dooku or the Emperor Palpatine lightsaber, which are the 2 that I don't have. Hey, it'd be worth the $200 to do that. But anyway, if anybody's planning on going to this, hey, let me know. Let me know how your trip went if you do go. I will eventually get going to this. It's just been 30 years since I've been to Disney World or Disneyland. So like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this week's news. Welcome to the first of my vanity videos that, I don't know, maybe that's not the right name for it. But the reason I want to do this is to make the channel fun, fresh, exciting. I really want y'all to enjoy watching the videos. I'm going to be asking some questions, expecting a little bit of feedback. And what usually happens is I put a video out, or other creators put videos out, and then we get comments on those videos. But what if I ask a question, I get viewer comments before the video goes up, or viewer input prior to the video going up? How much better of a video could that be? So if you join me all week long at the end of all these videos for these quote-unquote Chuck Lorre Vanities sessions, then I could get more feedback, better feedback, and then kind of just tell you what's going on with the channel. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Give me some feedback down below.